I will just explain again why we're together here, because after some other people maybe will watch at this replay on YouTube. So the main aim or purpose for these sessions is just to be together in order to find maybe strength or encouragement in our practice of Tonglen, but practice of mind training mainly. And so it's a very simple approach. So it's not that, I'm the one who knows, you are the one that they don't know. It's absolutely not the way I think and I perceive, because it's the truth. I'm learning really a lot, and I cannot pretend to teach something. So it's more a study group, let's say, but maybe not on a formal aspect. It's not that we are studying a text together, but it's more that we are looking at these instructions and we try to understand what they mean for us, how we can apply these instructions in our life. And also we decided to focus on Lo Jong mind training, because as it is said, and you may know that already, but as it is said in all the classical teachings, and not only the classical teachings, but all the new commentaries by Jean-Marc, Zigar Control, can be also Pema Chudron, but a lot, Shogam Trungpa. There was a lot of contemporary commentaries, and they all, the classical one, the new ones, they all stress on the fact that Lojong, it's really the key aspect or the fundamental aspect of the Mahayana. So, and we can even say that with mind training, this Lojong approach to the life and to the practice, it's really a key aspect of the Dharma in itself. So without Lojong, it seems quite difficult to really start working on ourselves inwardly, because Lojong, it's really a mind training. It's really, as it is said, Lo Jong. So Jong means training. So we really train the mind, and as we saw together many times, so Lo means the discursive mind. It's not the aspect of the mind. It's not the wisdom aspect of the mind. We have other words in Tibetan to express that. We can also say Yi, Sem, Lo. We have different words, but Lo means really the discursive. So discursive means the cognitive aspect of the mind. So the aspect of the mind we use to think about, to reflect on a subject, to decide, to choose, to discuss, in fact. And so it's interesting to say Lojong. It's not Sem Jong. Sem, it's more the consciousness. Lo, it's more the way we think, in fact. So it's a very simple approach. All the masters of the Lojong tradition, they can be from the Kadampa, from Kagyu, from many lineage. There is a lot of Lojong practitioner everywhere. But if you read these authors or practitioners, what they wrote about, it's always very grounded. It's the Lojong practice. It's not something that you fly very high. Usually not. It's really you go to the grocery, you buy some food, and you have a problem with your car, and so this is Lojong. So you start with the life. So it's never that you have to meditate for very long years of practice and being perfect accomplished yogi, and so you can start, to understand something. No, with Lojong, we really start where we are, and we start with our confusion also. It's not that we need not to be confused. It's maybe even the contrary. It's very nice to be confused with Lojong, because we need to discover why we're confused, and so how we can use that confusion. And also, more than that, we can start also understanding that confusion can be something like a teacher. It teaches something when we look at the confusion. So it's so interesting for many reasons. So this is just, to in brief, to summarize what is Lo Jong if you are new to that session, and so you understand a little bit what we are doing together, and that's all. It's easy. Nothing to add to that. I can maybe just add that we are going very slowly. So when we say Lo Jong Mind Training, we have in the classical text, we have 59 instructions or slogan, aphorism, we can say also. Anyway, I think we are, maybe we arrive at the 7th one or 8th one, not very far. So just to say that for a month, we worked a lot, and the ground for the practice, because now we are reaching Tonglen, and Tonglen, now it's very famous. Tonglen, everyone, he's speaking about Tonglen. Tonglen means, Tong means give, Len means to take. So giving and taking, this is the basic meaning, raw meaning of the word. So it's what we give, and what are we taking from. And in fact, this is the main practice of Lojong. Why it is the main practice of Lojong? Because through Tonglen, so through giving, we'll see what we give, and through taking, so we train ourselves in giving and in taking, but we train ourselves through that in compassion, love and compassion, and wisdom. And so it's a way to develop in union wisdom and compassion. We need both. And the particularity of Lojong, it's that we start with wisdom, in a way. And when it's quite clear, so we can start really to give something or to take something. If we are not very clear about what we are taking or what we are giving, so we misunderstanding, or we miss the point, in a way. Because to make it very, very simple, we can say that if I'm not very aware of what I'm giving, taking, or what is really the wisdom behind this, so it means that I can imagine that I'm really someone who gives something, someone who takes something. And so I can also imagine that I'm very good, because wow, I'm giving a lot, I'm taking a lot, so I will be the savior of all humanities. So I can play these kind of games very easily. And so this is a real poison in the context of Lojong, because it's exactly we are aiming the contrary. I mean, saying that I want to say that it's not that we have to develop another sense of who we are, like I'm an extraordinary person and I will be the most extraordinary bodhisattva the world has never seen. It's not that. If it would be that, it would be totally wrong, because it will be the creation of a character, again, so like in a movie. So it's not the point. We are not trying to create something. We are trying to be, or to get free from the creation of the identity. And so that's why I said we need wisdom, because wisdom is a deep reflection on what it means to imagine to be an I, an ego. I am Jean-Marc. So what it means to not only who is Jean-Marc. This is not the point, but for what purpose I imagine to be someone. And it's so strong. So I have to reflect on that, because I will have to develop Lo Jong, Tonglen, love and compassion, based on the understanding that there is nothing such as an I, a real I, on that. Otherwise, it means that I give something like I give myself to others and I take others to myself. So, it's endless if we do that. The problem is the problem of suffering. So there is a root of suffering. The root of suffering is to imagine, it's to have, or to develop the fantasy that we really exist as we imagine, as we think. It doesn't mean that we are not here and we don't exist. So that's why we say wisdom, because wisdom, it's not an easy answer to a big problem. It's not that you have to choose, your side. Okay, here the I exists, here the I doesn't exist. It's not like this. That's why, in fact, the Buddha said it's neither existing, neither non-existing, and so on. So it means without extreme. So this is, the shortcut to speak about wisdom, without extreme. So, okay, without extreme. But for that, we need all the points before the seventh one. So before starting to develop, maybe it's not the seventh one, I don't remember exactly, maybe the 11th one, doesn't matter. But we really have to train ourselves before that. No, it's the seventh one. Incredible, the only 6 before that. So for us, for a big subject. Anyway, so so we are just starting this practice of Tonglen, and so we have to come back again and again to the wisdom aspect, just to make it clear. So for just to say right now, so I'm starting by explaining this, and before the session start, I was reading the commentary of Jean-Marc on that, and it's so beautiful. So we have to read it. We have to think about that. It's really important. And just at the beginning, I will read a few sentences at the beginning of this commentary, when he say, second, the instructions and training in the union of the conventional and ultimate bodhicitta. Conventional and ultimate bodhicitta means the two bodhicitta means wisdom and compassion. So it's another way of speaking. When we say ultimate bodhicitta, it means wisdom. So understanding what are the phenomena, in fact. And relative bodhicitta or conventional bodhicitta, it's the training we engage in the everyday life, in our life, just that. And so Jean-Marc said, so practice alternately the two, giving and taking. So the two are Tonglen. This is the 7th point. And so the commentary for that, he said, Tonglen, giving and taking, is truly the principal practice of mind training. Giving and taking refers to giving, and he insists, and on the word, giving all your merit, happiness, and contentment to others, and taking their suffering unto yourself. So it means really that. So we are really giving. So that's why, after he said, this very profound practice combines the practice of relative bodhicitta with the view of ultimate bodhicitta. Clearly, you will not physically find yourself suffering from every disease known to humankind by practicing this meditation. So there is no fear, that because of taking the suffering of others, I will be myself totally sick. It's not that. And or experience the heartbreak, anger, or other suffering of others explicitly. It is important to begin with cultivating the view of ultimate bodhicitta in order to not experience these too materialistically. So it's exactly the point. So that's why we need wisdom. Without wisdom, we'll think that all of this is real. Like, oh, poor person, she's suffering a lot, so I have to help that person. It's very nice, sure, no problem. It's a good heart, to think in that way. But it's not exactly the Lojong way of thinking. It's not that we don't want to help the other one, but we understand more. We go a little bit further. We don't stop to for instance, seeing the suffering of others. It's not even someone who can be very happy. Behind that, there is also suffering. We have this image of the devas, in the Buddhist tradition. So the devas are very, very happy, far more happy than we are. But they are suffering a lot, in fact. Not at the present time, but they will suffer because they ignore totally the meaning of life, for instance. So it's just to say that we are not, we don't read the reality in a very too simplistic way, So that's why he's saying, Shammai Rinpoche, in order not to experience this too materialistically. And this is the risk, to think really that suffering exists. So, he says, first you must engender the correct view. Cultivate in the previous practice. So, the 6th point. You must understand the nature of mind as unborn, of phenomena as empty. So, it's a big program. Huh? So it means that if we really want to practice Tonglen, at least we have to be a little bit clear. And what is the unborn mind? What are the phenomena when we say that they are empty? Empty of what? So what does it mean? So you must understand that everything is like a mirage. Now think about all sentient beings, how they suffer physically or mentally because of the illusions they take to be real. For as long they labor under the illusion of self as real and suffering as real, sentient beings can truly benefit from your compassion, even while it is empty. So, I'm reading this, but if we really want to understand what is it is written here, it's quite a job, because it's a lot. Because it means that we are not saying that we are not developing compassion, but we always know that, in fact, it is empty. So it means that in the background, we have this training, and we continuously train in that to be aware of what we are doing when we do Tonglen. Yeah. So, and after you can read the commentary by yourself, no problem. But this was just to I took 20 minutes just to put again the yeah to settle the space of the practice and to just to mention few important points. For us now, sure, Regina, Pavel, you know that perfectly. Maybe Charlotte also, in fact. We don't know very much each other, so I don't know, about Lo Jong practice. Maybe you are very keen to that, you practice a lot of that. I don't know. But on these aspects I mentioned, everything is clear, or how you understand that, obvious or not, or how it is for you. Just maybe we can exchange a little bit.
Jean-Marc, I will love to listen again about the emptiness of what, and to according the view of the maybe the Mayamika or Mayamaka view, or another view.
Mm-hmm.
If you can give some examples about the concept or the idea of emptiness, because I think it's always useful. I mean, I think for everyone, but for
No,
me,
sure.
for sure.
No, sure, for myself too. When I'm explaining, in fact, it's a way for me to understand more. For you, Regina, how it is with all these principles and main ideas? It's okay.
It's good, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you?
I'm still reflecting about this last
Yeah.
thing you pointed out, and also our compassion, in fact, especially.
Yes, yes. No, it's tough. There is a lot, and sure, we can reflect on that. And for you, Charlotte, how it is with that?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
I practiced a little bit Lojong for during retreat, so
Oh, very good.
not completely. It's
Yes.
not completely fine.
Okay. No, very nice. Okay. No, beautiful. If you already practice Lojong in the context of a retreat, so it's beautiful. No, perfect. Yes, we can. Maybe we what we can do. We can do that. I will. You know, the second instruction among the 59, but I will just turn on the light. Just wait for 1 second. I will need some light because now it's starting to be evening outside. Okay, so in Tibetan we have the second instruction. The order of the instruction in Shaman Rinpoche's commentary, it's a little bit different. But here we find Chönam Milam Taburusam. So Chönam Milam Taburusam means, I have to consider all the phenomena as a dream. So this is the instruction. I will just see how Shaman Rinpoche explained that, the first point. Just to see. Yes, it's interesting. Okay, so yes, on the second point, because in Tonglen, but anyway, it depends when we see the instruction through the 7 point of mind training, or if we consider the 59. And anyway, the 59 instructions are classified by the 7 point. So on the on the second one, if we speak about the 7, okay, on the second one there is quite a lot of instructions, and in that we find analyzing the unburned nature of mind, purify the strongest negative emotion first. Even the remedy naturally liberates itself. Rest in the essence of mind, the basis of everything. In post-meditation, know that all phenomena are illusory and abandon all hope for results. So the presentation is a little bit different, but anyway, it means that first we have to reflect on that emptiness. And so classically, the second among the 59 is considering all phenomena as dream. So I think I really love that, this instruction, because it's something that we hear very often, everything is like an illusion, a dream, and so on. And I'm not totally sure that I understand this point. Yeah, anyway, because to understand that point, it would be extraordinary, to understand it totally, completely. But just on the reflection aspect of this instruction, we can question ourselves, thinking about this instruction. And when we say looking at phenomena as dream, so what we imagine. Because when we say it's like a dream, it means it's like an illusion. Okay. So when we say illusion, it means that it doesn't exist in effect. So, for instance, we wake up in the morning and we say the dream we had in the night, during the night, doesn't exist. So it was a dream. So saying it was a dream means it's not real, it's not existent. And this is right, but it's only an aspect of only one aspect of the dream, to say it doesn't exist. It's really interesting also to take the dream as something that teaches us something about how confusion works. Because how it is possible that we are taking the dream as real? So that's why it's, I think, more interesting to try to understand how it is possible than just saying, oh, it was just a dream, so it doesn't exist. Because this kind of sentence, we're all saying this, even someone who never reflects on the meaning of emptiness will say that to you. Your mother, father, friends will say, yeah, no, this is just a dream. It doesn't exist. So dream, it's a synonym for saying illusion, saying, yeah, there is nothing. But we believe in illusion. So, and we are made of illusion. We want to, love someone for our entire life. And why not? But it's also a sort of dream. And so we want to be very rich. So this is a dream. So if we start to pay attention to our dreams, so we can see that dreams are very strong. And we are driven by dream, in fact. So we cannot say that our life is without dream. We are pursuing dream. Maybe when we practice the Dharma, it's also a sort of dream. Maybe we are dreaming on, Karmapa, very high Rinpoche, maybe we see them as supernatural being, or with a lot of power, they know everything, and they know my thoughts. So we are dreaming a lot. It doesn't mean that it's not real. Maybe it is. We never know. But anyway, this is not the point. The point is to see or to really start to observe the strength of the dream on ourselves. Hello, Pilar. Welcome. We started at 6 because Pavel said 6. Elena also. Sorry. So maybe. Regina. Pavel is making like this. No. Because Regina said today we start at 6. So that's why we already start at 6. So now you are coming. Sorry for that. But we'll have the replay. Anyway, I was, for you, Pilar and Elena, I was starting to speak about dreams. Why? Because we want just to make it clear what doesn't mean to say we have to develop wisdom in order to do Tonglen. And so we have this second instruction among the 59 saying that consider all phenomena as dream. So I was speaking on that. So dream. Dreams are interesting because we believe in dreams. And dreams, they have a lot of power. But is that correct? I don't think so. It's not that dreams have a lot of power or that they are very strong, but we are giving to the dreams a lot of power, a lot of strength. It's not that the dreams are powerful, absolutely not. But the power they have, we are giving that power to the dreams. And so this is very important to understand. An illusion cannot function, cannot work if we don't believe in illusions. It's impossible. It never happened. So it means that we participate in illusion. We participate in dreaming in something, and after we are driven by this, by the dream we nourish, in fact, with our hope, or fears. So it doesn't mean that illusion is something very far from us. In fact, we are always in the realm of illusion, creating something, giving power to something. And so when we say that, and when we go back to the instruction saying that consider all the phenomena as a dream, so it is different. It's not to say phenomena doesn't exist. It means, wow, phenomena, in fact, phenomena, I consider phenomena as real, but I am giving power to phenomena. So if I am reflecting correctly on what it is a dream, and this is a very simple statement, but just yes, it's very interesting to just understand that at first and say, okay, wow, the dream is very powerful because I'm giving power to the dream. So phenomena are very powerful because I'm saying myself to the phenomena, but the phenomena, they don't say nothing. And I'm saying to phenomena, you are real. So they become real because I'm dreaming. The dream, it's not the point is not to dream in the real world. I have to sleep and dream. No, the Buddha says there is not the slightest difference between day illusion and night illusions. So there is no difference. Why he's saying that? The Buddha, he's not a fool. He's not saying that you are dreaming. No, it's not. We're awake. We are not sleeping, so we're not dreaming. So what does it mean? So I don't know exactly, but maybe we can understand this as in the dream of the night, we discover that this experience has a tremendous power on ourselves. In the same way, during the day, the reality has a tremendous power on ourselves because we are giving this power to the reality. So it means that there is something effectively similar. But it's not to say that I'm exactly, worldly speaking, dreaming now. But the process, the psychological process, it's the same. I have to participate in what I'm perceiving in order that what I'm perceiving become real. So this is the process of the dream. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying this because when we wake up from, let's say, a real dream, if I can say real dream, but anyway, when we wake up, we understand that we were under the power of the dream. But usually we think that, yes, this is the power of the dream, but in fact, who is dreaming? Who is experimenting the dream? So we had very long discussion, I'm sure you remember, saying that, okay, if I dream of a tiger in my dream, and if I'm afraid by being, eaten by this tiger in my dream, I'm both. I'm the tiger, and I'm the one who is eaten by the tiger. So, I'm totally creating the dream. But when I wake up, I think, yes, hopefully, it was only a dream. So it means that I wasn't eaten by the tiger. So the tiger doesn't exist, and I wasn't eaten by the tiger. But usually we stop the reflection on that because the dream is finished. So for us, it's finished. No, but how it was possible to be eaten by a tiger? It's extraordinary. So to imagine someone who can eat yourself. So I'm afraid of what? Of a tiger, or I'm afraid of what my consciousness can produce? Because the tiger is not out of the consciousness. But during the dream experience, I thought the tiger was outside. So it means that I have this power of projecting something outside of myself, and in the same time, I can be myself. So I can create, during the dream, I can create the aspects of duality, outward existence and inward existence. So there is an other and there is an I. So with that, I can interact between the two, and I can love the tiger or being afraid by the tiger. So it means that I am externalizing my creation to other, to outside. I put something outside. And so when I look at the dream, so I can understand this. I can understand that, in fact, both the consciousness, or both myself who is dreaming and the tiger, both of them, they are not real. But the way of perceiving illusion, it's a little bit different. One illusion is to think that I'm myself, and another illusion is to think that there is something outside of myself. So when I say considering phenomena as a dream, so if I want to proceed in a correct way, so I have to take these aspects of the dream into the day reality. So it means that there is phenomena and there is myself who perceive phenomena. So if it's really like the dream, so it means that both are unreal, in fact. So the imagination of being myself, perceiving something outside, so like, for instance, a tree, a chair, or whatever it is, or a person, so this is like the dream. It's not to say it's not real, it's to say it's functioning as it is functioning in the dream. And I am the only one who dreamed that, because I'm the one who gave power to that dream. And saying that, reflecting on that point, is a way of developing wisdom and understanding emptiness. It is right if we understand emptiness as something that it's not just empty, because otherwise we don't understand. Because again, when we say illusion, we think it doesn't exist. Usually when we say it's emptiness, it means it's empty, so there is nothing. But it's not that. And the power of emptiness is to appear as real. The power of dream is to appear as real. So it's the same thing. So it means that emptiness and dream, or emptiness and illusion, it's the same thing. Same thing in the way that if I understand something in illusion, so I can understand something in wisdom or something in emptiness. This summer, Karmapa said something like this. It was in the bus, and he said, if we really want to understand something about wisdom, we have to learn ignorance. We have to start to really understand what is ignorance to understand what is wisdom. And it's absolutely right, because in fact, if we want to understand something as emptiness, or as empty in the sense of emptiness, like in the Dharma, so we have to pay attention to the illusion. Otherwise, we cannot understand. So emptiness, it's not to say not real, it's to say, and not to say it doesn't exist, it's to say it has the power of existing without being totally real. It means that the dream is functioning, the reality is functioning, and all the Tibetan masters of the Madhyamika, they said the reality is functioning. So we use the reality. We use the reality is real in a way. So it's not to say there is not an I, no, there is something existing. But when we say something existing, it doesn't mean that at the same time it is something that exists beyond the power we give to that. So again, like a dream. So a dream cannot exist if there is not a dreamer. Impossible. So a consciousness needs to be there to create the dream. So I have to be there to create my illusion. And so it's a very good news, because if I create the illusion of the dream, if I create the illusion of the day experience, so it means that I can understand. Otherwise, imagine just 1 second that someone he's creating the illusion, so you will never understand how he do to create, how he does to create that illusion. It will never be yours. He has the secret, for instance, he keep that with him, and it's finished. You are trapped in the illusion. But we are not trapped, because we are the one who dream. We are the one who give the power to the dream in order that the dream can functioning.
Jean-Marc,
Yes.
one thing, we could say like the illusory part of the reality is also, as what also the master they say, like the luminosity. I mean, the expression of the mind, which is empty, but luminosity as something that it appears plays, take part, but at the same time is empty. Could we say that this expression of luminosity
Mm-hmm.
in, is the expression like includes the illusion?
Uh, this aspect of luminosity not only include illusion, is illusion. You know, luminosity is illusion. When we speak about luminosity in the context of Mahamudra, for instance, luminosity, it's like the creativity of the mind. It's the power of projection of the mind. So illusion means that everything can appear. You know, it has the power of the power of appearing. So it's exactly because of this luminosity that we can create the tiger, for instance. We have this power. And that's why in the Mahamudra tradition we say that we have no problem with that. We don't have to suppress luminosity, but we just have to understand. It's the same thing like now understand all phenomena as dream. So we have to understand that what we perceive, it's just creation of the mind. But when we say creation of the mind, it's not to say it doesn't exist. It's to say that we're giving it exists because we project something, but it doesn't exist in the sense of there is something in that behind the fact that I believe in it. Because to say that something exists, it means it is necessary that there is an autonomy to that. So, for instance, you can say, okay, by itself it exists. So, if there is an autonomy on a phenomena, so it may exist. But there is never such autonomy in phenomena. It's impossible. So it means that it appears, I can perceive, but there is cause and condition for that. If there is no causes and conditions for that, so it can really exist. Because it depends on nothing. But in that case, it depends on myself. The dream, the tiger in my dream cannot exist if I'm not dreaming on that. If I'm not creating this. So luminosity, it's the power to create something. But usually in my day life as you, we don't think I'm creating something. That's why we're speaking about habits, because habits, it's just the way of doing. The mind it's we can use the word believing. We believe in that. We believe in that way of functioning, so we project this existence in things. And yeah.
Jean-Marc, according to that, this was my second question. I was thinking that my question is, for example, in the Vajrayana or in the retreat, as I read some books, there is the practice of the illusory body, where you also to see, to remind oneself through the body, speech, and mind that everything is illusory or like a dream. My question is, for example, in Mahayana, in the topic of the Lo Jong, how we should approach the reality to get used to see as a dream what we perceive. What is the approach of that? Because in the context of the practice is easy, but there is some practice like, because they say, yeah, you see all phenomena as a dream. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very nice, but there is something that you have to repeat yourself all the time. This is a dream, or this is not real, or how you do it, or
Yes, how we
how
do?
it is.
Yeah, Yeah, sure. Sure. How we do? That's why they are using the image of dream, because this is a first step. So it's to. That's why I said before. If we just say, okay, I was dreaming and then now it's finished. So it's not enough. So it's really an invitation of thinking about what they say when we say it's like a dream. So we maybe for us, this is a training in itself. So, to reflect on that, to make it clear, to understand that, yeah, how it is possible that it's functioning, There is obviously, there is no tiger. I'm not risking something. I'm in my room, but I can have a lot of emotion. I can be totally frightened, by this. And, sometimes we have a nightmare, and this nightmare is so strong. But sometimes we have also an erotic dream, and it's so strong. After you see the person, you are ashamed, because you think, wow, what I done with you, you done nothing, even, with the tiger, you done nothing, But it has a big impact on our life. So just to say, no, I don't have to think about that, don't need, I don't need to be afraid because it was just a dream. It's not a bad sign or things like that. And I don't have to think about that beautiful dream because it doesn't mean that, oh, I really found, my true love, So you calm yourself. You say, okay, it was just a dream. So perfect. So you calm yourself. But by doing this, we don't understand how it is possible that we get trapped by that. We don't understand. And so that's why illusion is very interesting. Because illusion, it's the only way to understand something about illusion. If we don't understand illusion, so so we don't understand how it is, and how it is powerful. It's impossible. So maybe this it's something really interesting, just to start, really to follow the instruction, to start and to say, okay, in that situation, how it is working, the emotion I have, the reaction I have, what is at stake, how it is functioning. Maybe this is a good way. I don't know. It's not the only way, obviously, but this is also a good way. Another very good way, it's through the practice of Shine. I think this is, this can be really interesting because in the practice of Shine, it's like experimenting the dream state. What I'm saying this, it's not that practicing Shine, it's like dreaming. Absolutely not. But during Shine, you have thoughts arising, thoughts coming, and thoughts also disappearing, And in fact, when we have one thought appearing, it's so real for us. And so in that moment, just by being totally aware, I start to observe the process of being trapped by this thought, So it's like an experience of the dream in that way. Not truly, but it's functioning a little bit the same. So just to give an example, it's impossible for me to think about one thought or to be concerned by one thought if I'm not fascinating by that thought. If we really observe in Shine, when we have one thought, so it's just like a bubble, and that's all. But usually, when we are distracted, what happens? So we are creating something from the first thought. So it's like a fascination. So it means we grasp, there is something interesting. But, and from that, we are developing something else and something else, and we can continue for minutes and minutes, and sometimes for hours and hours, sometimes for years. But during the practice of Shine, we are continuing. So I'm totally trapped by my thoughts, and after a while, I'm thinking, wow, I was lost in that. Yeah, but I'm not lost in that because I'm very bad and I don't know how to meditate. It's not that. I'm lost in that because this is the way the mind is functioning, um, and it would be very intelligent to pay attention to that, not to say distraction is not very good. I have to abandon distraction. No, no, this, yeah, sure, we have to abandon distraction, but it's not to say distraction is bad. Distraction, it's the way the mind is functioning, so we have to pay attention to that. So this is another kind of training, how it is possible. So again, we'll discover that we cannot be distracted if we are not interested in the thought we have. So it means that uh, there is something appearing, but if really it's only appearing, it's already finished. Really. Appearing, disappearing. Okay, perfect. But it's not the case. So it's appearing, and it's like if someone in myself uh, is totally fascinated by that. Wow, this exists. So, it's like the tiger outside of myself. So it's like if the thought is in itself existing. So, because it is existing, so I can look at this, I can think about that, and I can be really fascinated by that, and I can continue. Otherwise, I will just perceive it as a sort of emanation of the mind. That's all, a creation of the mind. So at that moment, it's not so interesting, because I know that I was the one at the beginning who created that. So there is no uh, autonomous life to that thought, absolutely not. And so by doing Shine, I can understand more and more. I can understand and I can discover that process, the process of illusion, in fact. And when I know that, it's also a way of approaching wisdom. That's why we say Shine and Hlaktong. So Shamatha Vipassana. So Vipassana, Hlaktong, it's the wisdom aspect of Shine. But wisdom aspect of Shine, it's not something else. It's the ability you have to perceive the empty nature of the luminosity. Empty nature means you understand that these thoughts, uh, those one you follow the lot, but there is no need to follow because it's really like an illusion. You cannot believe, it's like putting an end to something you believe. It's also understanding that illusion cannot functioning. I said before, strength, but we can also say belief. If there is no belief in that, impossible. For instance,
Jean-Marc,
yeah.
for example, because, sorry,
No, please.
I could say that because Samarin Ponce put a lot of emphasis in Shine
Mm-hmm.
practice.
Yeah, a lot.
And what you explain is like really to be mindful is so important because otherwise we can't recognize or we don't have the capacity to recognize like this is like a dream because we are just distracted.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the Shine practice is really, really, really important uh, as uh, as the way of realizing like it's like a dream, but also in between practice, right? That
Mm-hmm.
means that the Shine is really something that we want to practice the absolute part of the bodhicitta. Shine is something like we should have, I mean, in a very high level of stability, or at least a good level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it right? Or?
Yeah, sure. No, absolutely. And this stability of mind is very important, because otherwise we cannot observe something. We can put it very simple, in a very easy way, saying that if we are not steady, so we cannot observe. So we are just driven again. So we are driven by the thoughts, like in the dream. To be steady, it doesn't mean that nothing is appearing. It means that it appears, but it doesn't disturb you, because you are there, you are totally there. And so it's not saying that we have no thoughts, but thoughts are reduced to thoughts. There are not, we don't give to thoughts something else, they are just thoughts. So it's incredible, that when we realize that we give so much importance in one thought, it's just unbelievable, because in Shine, really, if you see, you can think about, how you will do, or I don't know, wash your clothes. You can have this thought, and suddenly you can think about something really important, you think, but the nature of these thoughts are exactly the same. So you are just producing something, but for us, yeah, we don't see like this. And after we think, wow, this was so interesting, this is really interesting. But no, it's just the same nature. If you think sugar, it's not different than thinking or having a beautiful understanding on the emptiness. During Shine, everything that appear, it's the same nature. We don't have to make differences on that, but in order not to make differences on that, so we need to be steady, because we need to, it's like to be here and saying, oh, this is a thought, whatever it means. I mean, it can be a beautiful one, a bad one, an extraordinary one. It can be a very, low level thought. But whatever appear, it's a thought. So you're there, and it's like a thought. A thought. And that's all, And you're aware of that. But you feel also inside of yourself that this one is very nice. Oh, no. And you see yourself. It's like perceiving yourself participating to the game, a game that yourself you create. It's not the game of someone else, For instance, when we say, this is a very bad thought, but who thought that? I mean, the really thought, this mind. So the mind who says, this is a bad thought, it's the real mind who was thinking the thought. There is no one else, We are exactly the one who produced the thought we dislike, for instance. But during Shine, we understand that. We finally see that, And it's just amazing, because we can really create something that we think it is awful, But if it is really awful, so why we are creating something that we think it's awful? No reason for that, really. if we, to be clear, we cannot say, no, this is very bad. Yeah, so if it is very bad, so why I'm thinking about that, So I'm creating the thing, it is not bad or not bad. I'm creating the category concerning that thought, but the nature of the thought, so this is Tonglen. This is Hlakdong. Hlakdong, it's like you take a thought like this, you put in your mouth, and you test. What is the savor? The test. What is the test of the thought? So it's just a way of saying, but maybe you start to discover that the test of the thought, it is made from the same material, and the same material is creation of the mind, imagination of the mind. It's the same material. It can be a beautiful one made from creation of the mind, luminosity. A bad one made from luminosity also. It's when we say luminosity, it's exactly for that. It's to say that it's luminous. It's like light. When we go to see a movie, it's always light. The light that appear in a form. But the material is light. It's only light, nothing else than light. Just light. But but to say a red light or a blue light, it doesn't make the difference. Yeah, sure, this is the way of appearing of the light, but it's not the way of being of the light. That's why in Tibetan we say Nangtsul Netsul. Netsul means the way of being. Nangtsul means the way of appearing. So it's different, So Shine, that's why Shaman Rinpoche put, really emphasize the practice of Shine for Lojong, because we need that. If we don't have this Shine, it's like, we are not prepared to observe this. It's impossible, because you cannot. You are just driven away by your thoughts, driven away by your dream. You cannot observe. So maybe, I like in Karmapa when he say it's just like bird watching, and when he says it's just like bird watching, it means that we have to observe. It's not that we have to think it's good or not. We have to observe. So by observing, so we'll know something. Learning will come from that. And we understand that when we practice Shine, we are not practicing Shine and so less and less thoughts. No, less and less, how we can say this in English, less and less belief in the reality of thoughts. This is the reduction we can perceive. It's not the reduction of the thoughts by itself. So that's why in the Kagyu tradition we'll say, may I realize the Dharmakaya inside all the thoughts. But all the thoughts, not the good one. And there is Dharmakaya in some thoughts and no Dharmakaya in other one. There is Dharmakaya in all the thoughts. So to speak of a Dharmakaya, discovering Dharmakaya in the thoughts, it's not to say that thoughts are very precious. It's to say this is the true nature of thoughts. There is no other nature of that. It is empty from the beginning. We don't have to creating that emptiness. We just have to understand why we say it's illusion-like. And yeah, and so that's why we use Shine, we use the reflection, we use many things just to understand this. I'm sure there is a lot of other very deep aspects, but for us, and I don't know for you, but for myself, just by doing Shine and slowly starting to understand that the nature of all the thoughts, good or bad, are the same in the way of they all have the power of driving me out, because I am giving the power to the thoughts I create myself. So this is quite, I will not say okay, but it's a beginning. It's a beginning of understanding the process of illusion. And I need that. Because otherwise, I will think, to go back to Tonglen, I will think that there is really someone outside that really exists. And I really give my happiness to him. No, I'm not giving. I think I give, and it's beautiful to think I give, because there is something very powerful. But it's not because I'm giving that I will be empty. It's not because I'm taking the suffering that I will suffer. But by doing this, it's just a training, it's just a game. But by doing this, I'm developing a lot of quality. Because I understand how illusion is functioning. Because what I give, it's an illusion. What I am taking, it's an illusion. So it means that I am aware of the game, and I accept to function in the terms of the game. Like saying, we'll say, like children's, we will say that there is someone who gives something to someone else. But this is just a part of the game. But at the same time, I understand that there is no one who gives something to the other one. So if you read the commentary of Shaman Rinpoche, it is absolutely explained. It's beautifully explained in that way. Really. For instance, he say, here we can think back to the three purified spheres of agent, action, and object mentioned at the very outset. In this case, you are the agent, compassion and love are the action, and all sentient beings are the object. All three are illusory. But as long as the object, sentient beings, experience the world dualistically, they will nonetheless benefit from your compassionate action. So it's really interesting. It's like accepting to function at the level of illusion, but in a aware state of mind. I'm totally aware of illusion and I'm using the illusion. But this is really the sense of Dharma, because Dharma, we're using a pure illusion to develop real quality. But when we do a ritual, when we say, for instance, I offer all the universe to someone, it's not that I'm really offering the universe to someone, but at the same time, I'm really offering something because I'm doing this. So we play. It's like a wisdom game, but not a game to say it's not important. It's in the contrary, it's really important, because all the qualities can develop from that game, because I give something, because I take something. But in the context of Lojong, I have to play that game while I am aware of what I'm playing. Both. Okay. Yes. Yes, it's.
Thank you, Jean-Marc. It was really great to listen this approach. And I think my feeling is like even if we are stuck in the same point since months,
Yes.
it's really evolving and going deeper.
Yes.
I think it's because of that, because we are at the same
Because we are
point.
stuck. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
sure. You're right. Yeah, no, we
we are
need.
going deep because the way I understood today and also I think also for you, it was really really deep, inspiring.
Yes, no. For me, always I have the feeling that, yeah, as you say, I'm stuck as you are stuck. We're all stuck there. Sure, and we absolutely. But it's very good because it's really the point. It's really the point. It's like we need to articulate in our mind, to understand, and this is also a good level of thing because we have to I don't know, to put in order, or the way we understand. And after from that, we can also experiment. Now we speak about Chine, So Chine slowly, it start to be more clear, Why are we doing Chine, really? When you think about that, why we do that, There is no real meaning, to be seated like this in silence. So for what? But to observe something, just to be there, But to be there, to be there means to be here. And to be here means to finally be here. Finally starting to be somewhere, really. And when I am somewhere, I can start to look around. Otherwise, I cannot start to look around. It's impossible. I can even imagine that there is something to see. It's like if I'm just trapped in it. It's like, running everywhere after something or chasing by something, But you are just running. You go everywhere.
Yeah, actually, what I want to tell you is thank you very much for this opportunity because I think it's quite rare, quite unique. The chance, like we have this opportunity to go deeper like this, in
Mm-hmm.
this way, because as you say, usually in courses or is like we are running also in other topics because we could run to the all points in Lo Jong, but we are not running, obviously not. And this is something that really, I don't know if you had this experience before, but
No, totally. For me, it's the
for
same
me
thing,
it's unique. It's
I know.
unique because
Yeah, sure.
when you give a lecture, maybe you have question and answers at the end, but it's just no short time. But here is like really we can realize the things reflect much more than usual.
No,
Much
totally,
more.
totally. No, for me, it's really important because it's also a key point because that's why when you observe the construction of the text, so when we arrive at Tonglen, so but really, frankly speaking, when you read Shamari Bache, it's wow. It is said clearly you will how it is said, This very profound practice combines the practice of relative bodhicitta with the view of ultimate bodhicitta. So it means that first you must engender the correct view cultivated in the previous practice. So it's not nothing, It means that if we really take it as real, so we cannot go very quick with that, because to engender the correct view, wow, it's something. So this is the condition of Tonglen. It's not the contrary, We can start Tonglen, absolutely, but we don't have to forget that. Otherwise, we're lost. It's if we don't pay enough attention to that, we may say, okay, it's done, so now we do the serious one. So we do Tonglen. So this is really serious. So we do something. Finally, we do something. No, but this is not enough. Finally, we do something. No. Finally, we can do nothing also, if we are not very clear about what we are doing. And we think, I give a lot of happiness to everyone, so they are all receiving a lot of happiness. But while doing this, we can also reinforce the idea that I'm existing for real and I'm giving something for real. But on the other side, the point is not to think I'm not existing and I'm not giving something. So we go back to the Buddha's teaching. It's neither existing, neither not existing. And so it's like to say, maybe we can take this instruction very, very seriously. Not only like, oh, it's beautiful, Buddhists, they think in that way. No. It has a meaning for ourselves. And so when we are doing Tonglen, we are in the middle of that. This very profound practice combines the practice of relative bodhicitta with the view of ultimate bodhicitta. It is said by Shamarippache. So it means that this exercise you find in Tonglen both bodhicitta. So if it is said, so it means that I at least, and that's why we're stuck. At least I have to figure a little bit what I'm doing, At least, because otherwise, it's impossible.
We do Vajrayana is the same,
Totally,
The same makes
totally,
to do Chenrezig.
totally.
You believe you are doing Chenrezig and Chenrezig exists, and the practice exists. It's like now I'm thanks to those times we are sharing. Then I can play. I can play the practice. With having more the taste of emptiness, of the absolute bodhicitta. Otherwise, we do the same. Doesn't matter what we do.
Mm-hmm. Sure. No. Totally. No, totally.
Thank you very much.
No, but you're welcome, because it's not me or myself. It's just because all together we're stuck, and so it's perfect. We can be stuck like this for very long, and it's okay, no problem.
Okay.
And today it was like a revision. We revised all together. This really main aspect, and also the second instruction. Perceiving all phenomena as dream, and it's just we can maybe say it's just to stop. And someone who is really acting, and someone says, but what are you doing? Could you stop a little, and you stop, and yes, what I'm doing, in fact, and you take time just to reflect on that. Just this. But this is absolutely beautiful, we don't say, for instance, Shine again. Shine, it's not to say you have to produce something. Huh? It is never said. Never. In the instructions, you will never read, we have to produce enlightenment. Impossible, because it is already there. So it means that we can forget producing something. We'll never produce something. It is said in the instruction of Mahamudra, we cannot add something, we cannot reduce something. It's impossible. We cannot do that. So, what is the point? So the point is to observe, to be here, to see, to understand, to stop. To stop, not stop like I don't move, but to stop in the way that I take time to understand what is going on. What is at stake, what is the matter, in fact. And so this is very, very good and very rare because, I need. But next time we'll also train Tonglen again. So we started to do Tonglen together. I think it's good to continue to do Tonglen together also, but to go back always to this point, because otherwise we'll not practice. The practice will not combine the practice of relative bodhicitta with the view of ultimate bodhicitta. And so it's not just to repeat the phrase or the sentence. It's like to say, this is the point. This is what we have to do. What we have to do is make the join between emptiness and compassion. This is what we have to do. We have to put in contact the two. We have to put wisdom in compassion, compassion in wisdom. Articulate the two. And slowly it comes. Because slowly we can develop compassion in a more aware way. And slowly we can develop wisdom in a more compassionate way. For a very simple reason. The very simple reason is that we finally understand that we suffer because we imagine. All suffering comes from imagination. That's why, Shaman Rinpoche says, you must understand the nature of mind as unborn, of phenomena as empty. You must understand that everything is like a mirage. Now think about all sentient beings, how they suffer physically and mentally because of the illusions they take to be real. So this is us. So, we have to understand that our suffering comes from taking suffering as real. But it's really serious, because it means that the way I will die, it will be painful, not because dying is painful, but it will be painful because I'm still believing that there is someone who is dying. and that's all. And to be free means to be free from what is holding you. And what is holding myself? It's myself. I'm the one who trapped myself. I'm trapped by myself. And I can discover this in Shine. I am trapped by my own thoughts. I cannot be trapped by Charlotte's thoughts, by Pavel's thoughts, by Regina's thoughts, by Pilar's thoughts, by Elena's thoughts. Never. I will never trapped by someone's thoughts. Never. But I will be trapped by my thoughts. And so this, I think, yeah, it's good to be trapped on that point, because I have to understand this. Because if I understand this, I can start to understand something about what is suffering. Otherwise, I cannot understand. If someone say it's awful for me, it's too painful, I can start to understand what does it mean, because I understand what is the root of that. The root of that is to believe. Is to believe in the trueness of thoughts, trueness of what I experiment. I really think that someone is loving me, someone is hating me, and it can be a big suffering, thinking that, wow, this person really doesn't like me, and it's difficult, it's painful, and the experience we as sentient beings we are experimenting are really painful. But just because we imagine this too much, it's really it can be awful, but yeah, and sometimes, even physically you can suffer, because people, they are making you, suffering maybe. I don't know, because they really think that you are an enemy for them. So, they start to beating you, But this is all imagination, It's all the tiger again. So if I see in my dream, the way I'm reacting with the tiger, it's extraordinary, In my dream, in the experience I have, I never say, yeah, but this is just an imagination, Never. Usually not. No, I'm in. And we are all in. No, we are not out of that. That's why we and for Shantideva, when he speaks about the equality with others, this is the point. Because we share the same illusion. We have the same ground inside of ourselves. The same ground that makes us, makes us sensitive to that, or makes us able to perceive this, But the system is the same, The way every one of us is imaginating, it's the same as myself, There is no difference. Absolutely not. And so this, we need to understand this. Yes, friends. Maybe we stop there. Otherwise, it's too long. Okay for you? So we turn again and again in round. I don't know. I hope one day maybe we are not. We will be free from that point where we are stuck. I don't know, maybe not. But next time, for sure, we do Tonglen. Okay? We do Tonglen, but with that kind of understanding, and it will be beautiful. I don't know if beautiful or not, but we do. Hello, Pilar. How was it for you? Was okay? Yeah.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Pilar. I hear you. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I wanted to say that I really appreciate again the tiger talk.
Okay,
It's another again.
Even if you know it already, yeah.
No, but I don't. Even if I've heard it, I don't know it. Still, it's still like a brick on the head.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
No, but you're welcome. Really, really, really. No, no.
It's
I
needed.
Yeah. Ah, very nice. No, no. I hope for Elena it's meaningful also because we are digging. All we are in the same mud. In the same mud. Trying to find an escape somewhere. But maybe just trying to find the meaning of that. Because we're in the life. And so I don't know. So we have to do something with that. So we'll see what we can do. Okay. So Elena, I hope everything is fine for you also. With you also.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, you're here. Very nice to see you. Okay. So friends, we stop there, and so maybe we'll meet again. Normally, yes, if we're still there to experiment. So maybe we'll have chance to meet again. And so we stop with a dedication. Okay. Sonam di tamche zigba ne tumne nyebe dranam pamje ne kirga na je balam trupai sibe tsole dowa dolwarai sho. It's so funny because I forgot to recite the refuge because it's like if we were not really starting, just saying we will start. So I totally forgot. It's like a very, very long introduction. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much to all of you to be here. It's for me. It's always very good to have this opportunity to think about. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so
friends.
much.
You're welcome. So see you very soon. Bye bye to all of you. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.